Ignore me.
Ignore that punk, ignore that wanker.
Me.
Ignore that punk, ignore that
What are you
wanker.
calling a punk?
Ignore that punk, ignore that wanker. Listen, you look like the bloke who wasn't cast in the small play. No, but seriously.
Don't know if he's talking to me or not.
You didn't get the best plan.
The thing of it is, you didn't get what you wanted. Start bringing summaries out there. But see, you got guys that want to be drunk and act like a bunch of idiots because they don't have nothing else to do. They bored out their life, so they want to get drunk and look like a down on the street. You see? But like I said, it's nothing to stop what's going to happen in the society. It's great. Travesty is going to happen in the civilization.
That's right.
Like I said, you're going to have martial law being put on the streets, and I'm reading about it.
That's right.
The beginning of sorrow and great mourning, the beginning of famine and great death.
So the Lord said the beginning of famine and great death. So what's going to happen? When they lock down these cities and all of these stores because of the economic shock, they're going to be running to and fro to get food.
What's this?
You see? We're going to deal with that later on.
This.
The beginning of wars and the powers shall stand in fear.
What's this?
The beginning of wars. That's why World War III is coming up.
Of the ashes.
World War III is coming. It is coming, yeah.
And he agrees.
He agrees.
And the powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evil.
Go ahead.
What shall I do when these evils shall come?
And what shall I do when these evils shall come? Because the prophet Esdras had a vision, which I know you don't believe in the Bible anyway. That's all cool. But the prophet had a vision, and he saw the vision of these times that we're living in today. And he couldn't. The prophet had a strong mind to do it. So if he was shooting bricks and he saw the vision, you can imagine the travesty that's going to come down in this time that we're living in. You get that?
Jeremiah 30:7. Alas, for that day is great, right? So that there is none like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble.
It says that last that day is great and there's none like it. Time of Jacob's trouble. Daniel's 12.
I don't get what are you promoting?
I'll tell you what.
Israel.
What we're dealing with, right? What we're dealing with right this present moment is we're dealing with this. We're dealing with how this society is coming down, all right? And what's going to happen? I mean, I'm saying this. Basically, the chosen people of the Most High, these people on the side. That's the first thing.
So they're good people and they're bad people.
These are the chosen.
So who are these?
These are the real Jews according to the Bible.
Oh, that was Simeon Jackson on that.
So you're Jewish?
These are the names that God
Simeon Jackson. Good frames on that.
So you're Jewish?
Yeah, we're the real
Jewish?
Jews. We're not Jewish, we're the real Jews. But anyway, let's deal with this.
I wonder what that is.
Yeah, we're going to deal with this. So basically...
They're not Muslim, they're Jews.
Yeah, I know.
But they're the real Jews rather than...
Israelites. Sorry, the 12 tribes of Israelites. Jew is one of many tribes. There are 12 tribes. We're not Jews, but I'm from the tribe of Israel.
But you're from Israel? Alright, this thing... No, anyway, this thing was...
I don't get that. I don't get that. He turned out to be... Yeah, that was terrible. That's the totality.
Yeah, no, he's literally in a card game.
Don't worry, your time's coming.
In a card game,
Okay. Very skeptical about that. Very skeptical. That's the pride of Israel. See? Come on about that pride. We're not making fun.
No, I'm not saying what you're saying. But I'm just saying...
At the end of the day, I know where I belong.
And you're going to stop us.
Where you going? Yeah, James. Where you going, mate?
Where am I going?
We're actually telling you the things...
Where am I going?
You're going somewhere.
That's what we're doing.
Tell you what, lads. Let's all go for a party.
Am I going to hell?
Martial law on the street.
Am I going to hell?
I'm going to hell, yes or no?
No, you're outside. Well, get me Revelation stuff.
You are, Chip. You're going to hell.
We're going to show you something. It's not hell. It's not hell.
Is he going to hell?
Going to hell, yeah.
It's in Revelation chapter 13 verse 9.
Yeah.
Loud, man.
14 and 21, yeah?
No, get Isaiah 47.
Right page. Get the right page.
Edom shall go
Quick,
into
get the right
captivity.
page.
Yeah, get that again.
If any man have an ear, let him hear.
Right, so you got ears on your head. Everybody got ears on their head.
Are we going to hell?
He that leadeth into
I'm sorry.
captivity shall go into
Because
captivity.
we're white, we're going to hell.
No, I want you to listen.
He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
So it's evident in the historical documentation proves that he led us into captivity.
Because that says the white man.
In a sense.
And I'm
He that
white.
leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
He that leadeth into captivity, slavery shall go into captivity.
So because I'm white, I'm going to
So
hell.
that's
Is
what's
that
going to
what I'm
happen.
saying?
That's what's going to happen.
man's handiwork.
Alright?
He
Now
that
you know.
liveth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
He killed the native Indians with the sword, so guess what's going to
I wanna know.
smite you with the sword.
I want to know, what is that saying? What is that saying?
I've done it already, I've got them in
What is
already.
that saying?
Don't worry, I've
Wickedness
done that,
of the
man, I've got them
white
in
What is that
already.
saying to
But
me?
I can see that you've listened, but he didn't listen. So
You think he's
tell him what he
What does that mean to me?
I just want to know, am I going to hell?
No, you're not going there. What it is?
He said
You're
yeah.
holding it.
You're going
So
to
what does
sleep.
it mean
You're
to
going
me?
to sleep. Yeah, get me Isaiah 47.
Well, don't you know?
40 and 7.
No?
He says I'm going to hell. He says I'm not. So we're just trying to work out.
You're holding that poster, but you don't. You can't. What does that say to me? I'm a white man. What does that say to me?
That's fine. We'll explain it to you now. Yeah?
You're wicked.
Is that saying I'm wicked?
Are you on it? No.
No, I'm not. But I'm a white man, and you're saying about white men.
But it's not about color. It's not about color.
Well, why are you saying white man if it's not about
Is that his
colour?
name, is it? Calm down. Now, I've got this images off.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is a fact that this is collage image
No, it's still a secret.
beating, burning, rocking, like so when we say white man's handiworks, it is a proper description. If I said the Indians' handiwork,
No, yeah, I
it would be
appreciate that.
incorrect, right?
That's white men hanging black men. I can see that.
Now, it says the wickedness of the white man. When we write that title and you see little babies being put beside a lake,
it's probably
so that the alligators can come out, and they're using alligators as bait. I mean, they're using babies as bait.
Um,
That is a good
Bastard.
that is what you call a good description. Thank you. So it's a good description. Do you agree?
I think you.
No, it ain't a good description. That was 100 years ago.
I think you've generalised.
No.
I think that's racist.
But by you saying it was 100 years ago.
I think that's racist.
It's not.
You've generalised white people.
You're aiming that at the people walking these streets now.
Like
That's 100 years ago.
So what is it?
Tell me that one of those pictures is from like 1980 or something like
it's
that.
Jeremiah 49.
Jeremiah 49.
You've been wrong. You've been wrong, but you've not been wrong by anyone in this street.
I think that's racist. That's my personal opinion. Because you
Racist towards who?
to me, I'm a white person, but I would never dream of doing that sort of thing.
If we did
I
that,
didn't draw this.
If we did it- if we-
These are images of the internet.
I am a white.
if we stood in the street with a picture and
wickedness
said
of
the
the-
wickedness of the black man, we would be gone. We would be gone.
But it is white.
Is that not true? Is that not true?
This is your history.
No, it's not my issue. No.
That in our history.
Okay, it's
That's
not.
America 100 years ago.
Oh, so was not English involved in slave trade?
Yeah, 100 years ago, but that ain't him and it ain't me, is it? And it ain't you. You're trying to right wrongs of 100 years ago.
Look, if Jimmy Savile was around today, or Edward Heath was around today, he would have missed. He might say, "Oh, that was a long time ago," but you still want him dealt with, wouldn't you?
So you're gonna
Ask him a question. Ask him a question.
Yeah, you would.
You're
Yeah,
right.
you would.
So,
Yeah.
regardless of how long ago.
So you're gonna deal with all white men then?
Regardless of
Who are you blaming for that?
Listen to you, because he don't want to hear. Regardless of how long ago it was, it's still a crime.
So who are you gonna
that
deal
you
with?
haven't paid for. Do you
So we
agree?
need to pay. We need to pay for someone else's
I think
crime.
that word there should say the wickedness of the racist, not the white man.
We
Not
need
all
to.
white people are racist.
We need to pay for someone else's crime.
I think everyone's the same. I don't really give a shit.
Is that what you're saying?
Purple or orange. I don't give a fuck.
If I put down there the wickedness of the Indians, that would be incorrect. If I put down there the wickedness of the Chinese, it would be incorrect.
You've generalised white people.
But you've got a problem now. But it's white people.
It is white people, yeah.
So we need to pay. We need.
White people is every white person.
I need to pay for that then. I need to pay for that.
I see what you're saying. You say the wickedness of some white people.
Yeah, that change it. Get a pen out.
Yeah? You're right with that?
But it wasn't him and it wasn't me.
Are you okay with Are you okay with that?
Who are you going to punish?
See, it still says white people.
Because I've done nothing wrong.
Who are you going to punish?
Now, someone give me reincarnation in the Bible.
You know,
Who are you going to punish for that?
Because I wouldn't do that.
Because everyone that's dead on there died, what, 80 years ago?
1 and 7, yeah?
Who are you going to punish for that? Me?
According
No, none of
I
us.
wouldn't burn anyone.
You want an answer? You want an answer?
I want to know who you're going to punish.
I am going to answer you.
Let him answer.
Okay? So now,
I got it.
yeah, you might not believe in the Bible, but when people die, they come back in their family life. In other words, when I die, I will come back as my great-great-great-grandson. I'll still come back in my family life, okay? Now, slavery happened over, say, 400 years. So, even though you don't recall doing anything or not being there, according to the Bible, you were there. You just don't remember being there. You were there. Look, all right, let me give you an example. Your society that you have today was built off of the slave trade. You're benefiting off of the slave trade by having your society.
That's right.
You wouldn't have no society without the slave trade. Now, what would be right and proper is for you to say, we did have you in slavery on those trees, and we built up our nice society over it, and
Which you're all benefiting from. Thank you very much.
What?
Yes, you are.
Where'd you get your training from?
You're all benefiting from.
Hold on a minute.
Where'd you get your training from?
Let's get a logic here. You would have no society without slave trade.
So
and you're
England wouldn't
trying to
exist.
say that we're benefiting.
So what, England wouldn't exist?
Where'd you get your training from?
I can't believe that.
Where'd you get your trainers from?
You've been unbelievable.
You said England wouldn't
Well, they are Esau, Doc. They are Esau. Come on, bro.
But you would have no society. But now you're saying we're living in it. We're benefiting from it. You wouldn't have one without us. Don't you get that?
So England didn't exist before the slave trade?
Your society,
Because we go back way back, mate. We go way back.
You see, you just jumping around.
This was an all-white country. I'm not being racist, but this was an all-white country before any of you were even here. So yes, we did exist before you came here. We existed before slavery.
That's what Anglo-Saxons.
Yeah, we existed before slavery. This country existed.
We're talking about
That right there, that earth right there was here
we're now talking
before
about-
slavery. It existed.
It's gone into another topic now.
Yeah, I don't
It's
agree with
changed,
what you're
but
saying.
it
Just
existed before they
to the
came
Bible.
here.
I get what you're
It
saying.
didn't exist.
Go on, read that. Nahum 1 of
You are benefiting, Fred, because you've got fucking no cash. Fucking no cash.
Society
You probably eat nice food.
existed before they were here. It didn't exist.
You got that? You got that little sort of camera.
Yeah, nowadays it's been affected. It's been
41 verse 7.
The children will complain of an ungodly father,
The children will complain of an ungodly father, read,
because they shall be reproached for his sake.
for they shall be reproached for your father's sake. You're going to have to pay for what your forefathers did.
Really?
Read it again.
Read that again, please.
No, absolutely not. No.
The children will complain of an ungodly father.
You're complaining that God's going to judge you for something that your forefathers
I don't
did.
believe in God, so I'm not worried about him judging me.
But you're going to pay for what your forefathers did. Why? Because you are your forefathers. You were there when this all happened. You just don't remember. You're laughing, but it's gonna happen.
That, I believe in that. That happened. Yes,
This is
you're right,
Nahum
that
1
happened.
verse 3.
But it doesn't end how you want it to happen.
This is Nahum 1 verse 3.
Yeah, no,
The
we got
Lord
the
is
weapons
slow
to
to
the
anger
The Lord is slow to anger
and great in power
and great in power.
and will not at all acquit the wicked.
So you're not going to be acquitted for what
No, I'm absolutely loving this, man.
you're gonna, and you know it. You know that. You know
honestly,
in your heart
honestly,
that this has happened. Yeah.
I think you're mentally.
Yes, and you know in your heart that you
But
haven't
it ain't his fault,
you haven't
and it
paid
ain't my fault, and that's 200 years
you know
ago.
that.
It's 200 years ago, man.
You understand
Yeah, but
that?
You weren't alive, we weren't alive.
You weren't alive, mate.
I'm sorry that that's happened. I am sorry that's happened. It's not his fault and it's not my fault.
You're not getting it.
No, I think I'm mentally ill.
You're not mentally ill.
You're mentally ill. I think you're mentally ill.
That happened, and we can't go back now and we can't change that. But it was not his fault and it was not my fault, and we're not going to pay for it.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Do you think that still
Isaiah
happened?
26.
There's someone being hanged. He's not being hanged.
He's saying we're racist. He's saying we're racist.
It's alright, man. Just do what you're doing. Do what you're doing.
Yeah, it says. Yeah, I got it. It says.
That's 200 years ago, Spear.
Tell you what, mate. Tell me you're right.
And it's not his fault. It's not my fault. It's not his fault. Yeah, but that's what they're saying. They're saying we're getting judged.
The one standing around the fucking street. That's not the fact. Oh, okay. I think this is so big.
He's saying that I'm
It's alright, ladies. Alright, ladies. You've got it under control.
So I'm allowed to. Alright, so if I stood in with a massive sign saying, basically saying,
Did I hang that man? No. So why am I going to get judged?
that's a picture. That's pretty much what they're saying.
They're saying that I'm going to get judged.
The witness of the white man guilty as charged. For me, that's
The wickedness of the white man, that's approaching me.
You're telling me if it was the other way around, you would have
Yeah, it did happen. It did happen.
Yeah, I had that.
And it was wrong. We'd be gone.
You'd be standing there like these men saying this. It's different.
You think if I was stood there, I'd be allowed to say because you're wrong?
Can I get that?
You're wrong. If you think I'd be allowed to stand there and talk this down there,
Nahum chapter 1 verse 3. The Lord is slow to anger and great in power. He will not at all acquit the
that's
wicked.
true. You might not like that, but that is true.
Yeah, this is Daniel 12 verse 10. Many shall be purified and made white
shall be purified and made white. That's the Israelites, mate.
and tried. But the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand.
So the wicked shall do wickedly.
That was none of the wicked shall understand. Not like back then.
But the wise shall understand.
It would not be able to stand there and do that.
There's no difference.
Trust me, no, they wouldn't be. They wouldn't be. They do, yeah, but not without like witnesses just around there. Yes. You're getting judged for that.
He's generalising what?
No, Ed.
He just said to me, we're going to why are you paying for that? I wasn't fucking here with
This is our country, mate, about why we're here. Who was here first before you? Yes. Check out your history, you'll find out about what we do. You're from the caves of Porpoise Martin.
He's saying
That's where your habitation is. The caves, that's where you come from. It's about what we're doing here. What are you doing? What are you doing here? That's what you should be answering.
Where we come from? Where you going, mate? Where you going?
So you're saying, I go stand with
I'm going to say nothing.
backwards. And you like the Russians, you're backward. Look at what we've got. Just live in harmony. Everyone get along. It says, this is Ecclesiastes 3, verse 15. And it reads, that which have been is now, and that which is to be have already been. And God requires that which is past.
The most required
If you give us much effort, it's looking after people in Africa, then you do this rubbish.
It reads again, this is Ecclesiastes 3, verse 15. Have a nice day. That which have been is now.
Sorry?
Can I just ask you to clarify something for everyone?
Everyone?
Yeah. When you mean white people, you are not referring to all white people.
Where does the Negro race come from?
Excuse me, can I finish?
The Caucasian race comes from the Negro.
Where does the Negro race come from?
The Caucasian race comes from the
Just I noticed the top one under American Negro. Where does the Negro race come from?
The Negro race comes from...
It's not actually called a Negro race, is it? Negro is a racist term. Negro is a racist term. It's called the Negro race.
And everyone shut up.
Right or wrong?
Colour of the skin.
Sorry, darling, but I'm offended by this race.
It's only zoo up there, man. Not a zoo, okay? Art first.
Are you referring to
It's that there.
Oh God, she's getting all offensive now.
What's that?
Okay, you're not referring to all white people, right? You're just referring to some white people.
The whole thing is racist. The whole thing is racist. This is the black.
Have you got a problem with that?
No, I'm just asking you a question. I know what you're implying. I'm not against you. I'm just asking. Are you referring to certain white people or all white people?
Every single man on there is a white soldier.
So you find me guilty as well?
No.
Does that give me enough for you to clarify that? Because they feel you.
I'll clarify it.
The whole thing.
So you're not referring to everyone, you're just referring to some white people that have committed this crime.
That is a very good description. You have a lot of Negroes being and it is a proper society. There's nothing wrong with it. If it happened to you, you have no problem with it. Only because we're dark, have you got a problem with it?
Yes, it happened. All this happened. It happened 200 years ago. None of us can do anything about that. It's wrong. It was all wrong. Right. It's all wrong, and I admit that. But no one here can do anything about that and change it. It's gone. It's history. We can apologise. Yeah, we can apologise. But what more can me or you do? It did happen. What, you think people are getting hanged? You think people are getting hanged? Clear that fucking bollocks out of my
Hey, don't kick that. Don't kick it. Why not? If you don't like what we're saying, go on the fucking street. Excuse me. Cunts.
I'm on my street.
You're a fucking cunt.
I'm on my street.
And this is the peaceful way of doing what you do. Out here, push it.
I'm on my
Don't push me, you racist. Don't push me, you racist. Fucking racist. Feel it.
And it all
Go for what? Show yourself for what you are. Nothing but a violent racist. You're nothing but a violent racist. Show yourself for what you are. Violent racist. I'm not talking to you like one of you. Black people don't like
all of
you.
this isn't to do with me.
Black people don't like you either. You're nothing. I don't want it. I will keep whatever I like.
That's right.
I'll keep whatever I like.
We treated you badly. We treated you badly 200 years ago, and it is none of our fault. It is absolutely none of our fault. So why are you out here?
Show yourself for what you are. Nobody has violence in the
Why are you out here? You're saying that I'm going to get judged. Yeah, but you're saying that I'm going to get judged. Are you not?
saying it. It's what the Bible says. The Bible says fuck.
You're repeating the Bible. You're saying that I'm going to get judged because of what someone did 200 years ago. You've got English soldiers on there. You're explaining your interpretation. That is wrong. They're all fucking dying. They're all
No, don't read. This is Hey, listen.
I'll press the button. Get ready to press the button. Yeah, press the button. Yeah.